There's about 10% of me that wants to be famous now. It's very low. I don't need fame.
Why
But
don't you need fame?
I don't know. It's to me it's like there's if I was younger, I would want fame. If I was your age. If I'm older, I'm like, sounds like it's gonna be trouble. There's gonna be
Oh,
extra stuff I gotta do.
okay. Nice to know that you feel old. Okay.
I
Can't
feel
help you on that.
I did not say that. I said I don't feel old. I feel young. I feel dumb and young, just like I was 20 in my brain, but my body is different. So
Fun fact, Henry, fun fact is that when I see certain people, they remind me of certain things, especially like certain foods. If I get to know someone or I interact with someone, I'm triggered in terms of, oh, I need to eat this when I see them or just think about them. Is it like, do you have something like that, Henry? You get triggered when you see some
when I
people.
see you, I do think of healthy foods though. I think like your spinach, like Popeye spinach, because you're helpful. You help people. Healthy
Uh,
food. Yeah. What do you see
but
when
the,
what food?
See, now that I know you are in New York City, naturally when I interact with you or see you, I think of New York style pizza. Uh, but if I didn't know that you are from New York City, assume I just saw you for the first time or generally, I think that you would remind me of a boiled potato. Yeah.
That wasn't in the script. I wonder
I
why. I wonder why. Yes. I don't eat potatoes. So that's why I was offended. Not that I have a bald head. Potatoes has too much carbs and I try to not eat too many carbs. So
Any similarity or resemblance is purely coincidental and not intended to be offensive, or it's purely imaginary.
how do you address people at work?
Address people at work as in like, how do I call them? Like,
Yeah.
oh, so at work it's on first name basis. Uh, like if I'm working with Abedin, it'll be Abedin or Juliana or Manny. No, no, sir, no, madam, no, Mr., Mrs., Miss. It's all, casual, at least in that sense.
How is that different at home?
Oh, at home it's a different picture altogether, because being in India from an Indian family, even if I'm talking to someone who's just 1 or 2 years older than me, I have to give them the respect of an elder brother or an elder sister. Like you have these titles. You don't just say, like, if Abedin is my family member, I cannot say Abedin around my family. I would have to say Abedin sir, Abedin uncle. I don't think that he would like that.
Just call him
Or
uncle. That means old. I would call him cousin.
you'd call him cousin. Uh, but the thing is, in India, fun fact, though we have cousins, we don't really call our cousins as cousins. We call them as brothers and sisters. That actually proved to be a problem when I was in school in the US. I'm not kidding you. When I was in school in the US, that was a problem because my mother never told me that they're my cousins. They kept saying brother, sister. So I was like, okay, they're my brother and sister. And when I joined a new school, the principal asked me a question, which I found to be very tricky. How many brothers and how many sisters do you have? I had to literally count on my fingers, like cousin one, cousin two. And then finally she said, just give me a number, Suraj. I said, okay. I had 25 brothers, 25 sisters.
That's a lot. That's
That was
that means your parents were busy then.
that's the impression they had. They didn't because I didn't know the word cousin.
Here's me, and it's a Latino culture. We give pet names to each other, and they're not very nice. It's like the worst trait that you have. My two sisters, One is calls her puta, and one is calls her puta means slut. No, they call each other puta. Hey puta, how are you? Hey puta, how are you? And that's just a affirmation of love, respect.
Interesting, Henry.
Oh, like my mother's name was Negra, which is black, because she was dark skinned. So it was simple. Just call her black. She was
What
the
were you,
darkest of all my mom, of all the Latinos.
what were you called? What's your pet name?
As I was short, they called me Pee Wee.
Oh,
You do not want to be a Pee Wee walking around the neighborhood. There's Pee Wee.
I've heard of Pee Wee Herman, but Pee Wee Henry, that's a first.
Yes. And Pee Wee rhymes with wee wee, so it just got bad. It just got really bad. On that note, let's start the show.
This video provides some of the flavor of what is happening in Africa's thriving startup scene. At number 9, Kojo Afate, turning waste into riches. Electronic waste around the world grew to 44.7 million metric tons in 2016. 60 to 90% of this waste is being illegally traded and sent to Asia and Western Africa. Just dealing with this presents a real challenge, but imagine if you could turn it into something useful and valuable. A young inventor in Togo, Kojo Afate, did exactly that in 2013, creating a cheap 3D printer using electronic waste. Working from WoLab, a community for innovation and a space for democratic technology in Togo's capital city, he symbolizes the bottom-up development that is occurring outside more conventional approaches. What if you could reduce carbon emissions massively while providing a more affordable power supply to hundreds of thousands of people? This is what M-Copper has done. As of January 2018, this Kenyan startup, launched in 2012, has connected more than 600,000 homes in East Africa to solar power sources. M-Copper estimates that it saves its customers around $750 in the first 4 years of use. An Angolan app, Tupuka, began a food delivery service. It has now expanded beyond restaurants and includes supermarkets and pharmacies. Founded in 2015 by 4 young Angolans, including CEO Erickson Mvezi, the company is now thriving. The app is reported to have more than 20,000 active users, an impressive figure for a market without a tradition of ordering delivery foods and groceries. New ways of doing old things. Between 1995 and 2016, Africa's population grew by an average of 2.7% annually. This is more than twice the global rate. This exponential growth makes food security imperative. iCow, a Kenyan startup launched in 2011, is one of the simplest but cleverest tools being used to optimize every aspect of farming. Through the platform, registered farmers receive useful data and advice on best practices and can see measurable improvements to yields in as little as 3 months. At number 1, M-Pesa, the Kenyan money app that impressed Bill Gates. In 2015, The Economist was already asking, why does Kenya lead the world in mobile money? The magazine was impressed with M-Pesa, a phone-based money transfer launched in 2007 as a way to manage microloans. Now, it is used for all sorts of transactions and is spreading not only through Africa, but also to Eastern Europe, Afghanistan, India, and beyond. By its 10th anniversary, M-Pesa processed 6 billion transactions for 30 million users worldwide. As Bill Gates wrote on Twitter, Kenya's M-Pesa proves that when people are empowered, they will use digital tech to innovate on their own behalf.
To make lives better and more convenient and uplift people to a much better standard of living, quality.
There are enough billionaires, if they invest with just one thing, like having food for everybody, made out of cockroaches. Just redo it, change it around, make it into a hamburger.
Yes, you know that there is technology in place where urine water or urine is recycled and then brought back into the taps of households as tap water or drinking water. So I can see where your idea comes from.
I bet it's delicious.
Now I guess Henry is never going to drink tap water again. He's going to find...
actually, that's already happening between Malaysia and Singapore at one point of time, because Singapore is just a lone island nation while Malaysia has all the water. So what we did was we actually process all our wastewater and then sell it to them, and then they refine it and become drinking water for themselves.
What water did they process? The dirty water?
Yeah,
Did it have feces in it? Just asking for.
I think they would have processed it to certain level, and then Singapore
it's
just refine it. Yeah,
Osmosis? That I've heard of that technology where they kind of like
yeah.
boil it. Oh yeah.
Was it still called water or something else after you process all
Just
that stuff?
water. Yeah.
It's just
See,
it looks like slaughter to me.
if I put on my marketing hat, I would say it's advanced water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could charge more money by calling it advanced water, and Singapore people just
Yeah.
drink it up.
Guy that made the printer, they said, out of electric waste. I thought that was dope. Like, that's crazy. Like, if I win my trash can, the only thing I can make is like a stick figure house. So I think it's amazing what you can do now, even with the resources and things that they have in different countries. That's dope. Like, that's crazy.
One man's trash is another man's 3D printer.
Right.
But did you know?
A shredder for Donald Trump.
He needs one. He needs one of those. Yeah.
In my time when I was growing up, right? My dad, okay, he had to come home, but on the detour he had to take to go to his friend's place. Okay, so he would just call my mom on the landline and say, hey, I'm I'm at this friend's place or something, and it will take me long because there's a lot of traffic around and all that stuff, right? But nowadays that's not possible because my wife knows exactly where I am. She can say traffic. I don't think so. You are in a zone where everything is green, so come home soon, all right?
So chances are that no matter what, your wife will always know more about you than Amazon ever will. So.
Absolutely. Every time.
I'd say the next step of that technology is you can actually see the person. I want a technology in my eye where if I'm lucky enough to be in a relationship where I can see what they see.
Wow.
That is dope. That would be or maybe something like you can, a chip in your brain will make you think what they are thinking. That would be the ultimate level of technology.
But did you know that actually Elon Musk is having a company that's exploring neurotechnology? Yeah, Neuralink.
That's what our next evolution is, right? It's called Homo Deus. We and robots and mix up together. Like, we don't even have to do mathematics. All we do is look at the numbers, and the mathematics will be done in a chip in our brain. And then our chip, could tell us what kind of blood we have. I'll be very funny, like O type blood, Asian skin, gender unknown. That will be a funny chip. Like, oh, maybe I don't know what they're gonna put me as. Like what women, men. I don't know what. If they're gonna donate my blood, breast to someone else, it's made in Thailand. Don't worry about it.
There's a funny story in the news. It was a kid said, I don't know my address. Here, my phone knows. This is how to get to where I'm at. They don't know their address. I could barely know my own phone number now. I used to know it.
You could go and say, Alexa, how do you lose weight? Alexa will say, for starters, why don't you just get up and turn off your lights and all that stuff? Instead of telling me to turn off your lights.
There's an over-reliance or dependence on technology. It does make us very laid back. And especially, I can say one thing for sure, that now that there's so much of technology and I'm working on that, I don't even write anymore, in the sense I hardly do any handwriting. Like any notes or anything that I come across, I just type it out in a notepad or a Word page and just save it. While I still know a lot of people today who still use pen and paper to write stuff down.
I work at a school. So these are like kindergartners. They're so used to people doing things for them that a girl asked me to throw away her trash, or kids are just on their phones like this all day long. And that's it. Even when I went to the mall, no one looked up. People were bumping into each other because they're just doing this all day long. And then I went to a club and no one talked to each other. Like, this is a club. They're just filming the scene in the VIP, and it's making people kind of antisocial. And I'm sure you guys notice as comics, when people are at your show, they're just filming the show, not really enjoying it, and just doing this or going live showing that they were at your show. They don't even care about you. They care, hey, I'm here, look, I'm lit. Oh man. You know, it kind of affects what we do because we want you to concentrate on that, but you're so busy trying to be viral and popping that, hey, the focus is us here. You know, they want their moment. They're the star, not you.
In Mumbai, where I am, the streets are like so crowded, and sometimes like I make it a point not to even take out my phone and look. Like if I want listen to music, okay, but I'm not going to be scrolling and all that. Even if someone calls or pings me, I'm like, let me get to a place where I can actually stop and look. But I see so many people looking, and they are bumping. I'm like, just look up now for a change. You don't know who you're going to hit or bump, and then don't blame me. As I was looking.
Well, I always say this: people are bowing more to the phones than to God nowadays.
Yes.
True.
They're all looking at the phone. Hey, and when they are like, "Oh God, I don't know what to do now. I mean, do I bow? Do I do what?"
Especially the kids these days, they're so obsessed. They want to play games all the time. They don't want to go out, have some fun, fresh air, or even chat for that matter. And just you take the device away from them for a few minutes, they get restless. Like, I want the PC, I want the tablet, I'm like, chill. There's something called life. If you are so restless, just go to sleep.
Yeah.
If you can't, just wait for another 15 years. Life will tire you out that you want to actually take a nap.
I'm from the age where I used to, in summer vacation times, from 9 to 10, we were outside the house. my parents didn't even know that I existed from 9 to 10. And I would just have breakfast and come for dinner. That's it. We would be outside playing cricket or soccer or whatever.
When we were in our younger days, when we visit people, we will say, hi, can I get water, or where's the restroom, you know? But nowadays, the first thing kids come in your house, they say, hi, what is the Wi-Fi password? That is the thing nowadays. Yeah, kids don't even care about anything except Wi-Fi, you know. And also people becomes very forgetful, like everything they just refer to their phones. So if let's say you suddenly lost a phone, it's like your whole life is gone. I mean, which is quite a scary thing. It's like compared to those days where you have the notebook, you have physical items. So in case anything happened, you still can refer back to them. So nowadays, I think the most valuable thing that everybody have is actually their phone. It's not money actually, because money you can somehow earn back, you know, but it's the context that you have in your phone, all the information that is like, it can cripple someone lah. Yeah.
Think about this: if you're in an accident and when you get up, in olden days, people would check for their vital organs, right? You know, oh, do I have my hands okay? But nowadays, you say, oh, do I have my phone? Where the hell is my... You might be missing a penis, but you will be looking for a phone.
You have heard of something called IoT, right? Internet of Things. Basically, where you have houses where everything is connected together. You have a smart fridge, smart TV, smart microwave oven, and they all like interact with each other just so that everything functions smoothly as a house just by the technology alone. So that's something very exciting, but scary if it goes wrong or one component goes wrong in the house.
Yeah, you said it's exciting. I saw a horror movie in my head. I was like, wow. I crave the days that there's this new movement in the Arizona and places like that called living off the grid. The man can get you. You can grow your own weed if you're into that. You can do your own things and get your own energy in the desert. And no one knows how to track you.
Use technology like you drink. All right, do it responsibly. If you do it too much, you are in trouble. If you do less, you're okay. Just, you know, don't be too much dependent on that. And, you know, just do a little. See, like how you enjoy the whiskey, right? Scotch, you take it, it's sip by sip, it's awesome. But if you take a lot, then you're gonna go like, you know, trash somewhere. So use technology like whiskey.
Use technology like whiskey. Okay, but just
Wow.
make sure don't shake your phone too much.
Exactly.
Or don't try to stir it.
Exactly.
For myself, what I like to do is early morning. This is a new habit I have lah, which is to just wake up. But normally the default is to first thing is to check the phone to see notification, messages, whatever. But the thing is, these are things that can wait. So what I did nowadays is I don't want to look at the phone the moment I wake up. I feed my pets first. So when I feed my dog and cat and all, then and then after that only I check the phone. The message is still there. I mean, it will still be there. So rather than you check the message and you know, phone has this power to actually, it can reel you in, you know. That means you say that I'm going to check for 15 minutes. It doesn't happen. You'll be there for 2 hours until you have to rush somewhere. And you will, and for me, is I'll start hastily feeding my pets, and then I don't get to watch them eat properly and all. So nowadays I say, no more, just feed the pets first, only go on the phone. Yeah, and I think that helps lah.
Technology like social media is affecting more towards female than male. I used to be a male, I can tell you. And I'm going to be female, I can tell you as well. Right, so but females, when they post things on their social media, they are seeking for attention, they're seeking for validation, they're seeking for all this, where it's like, you know, they get a very fake world out in the social media, and then they are trying to apply to the real world things that, you know, like, oh, men's are like that, now I can have high standards for men, and then relationship starts to breaks off because women are having insane amount of what you call this expectation for men, like you must have this, you must have that, because I'm getting it from social media. And fucked up, everybody's fucked up, and end of our race soon, you know. Men's are getting smarter now because investing in women is bad. You know, so the day I just got the news, like heterosexuals, you know, they're getting less dating opportunity because women are just way too crazy with their demand, you know. I say, yeah, easy. I have a best solution for this. Just turn gay. You're fine.
In terms of technologies, that we're raising a new generation of weak individuals, sort of like the technology, because you're not socially interacting and you're not being bullied, any triggers are being removed. There's this thing is like, they're going to now put trigger warnings on topics in colleges. So if something like Shakespeare, it triggers me because he commits suicide, I can't be exposed to that. So this idea that you can now create this bubble of technology and live in that bubble where nothing will touch you. I think you need to play in the dirt, get dirty. I think you have to be break a few bones, although I've never broken a bone. We did this in another podcast. I've never broken bones. So I'm due for breaking bones. Just the idea of struggling a little bit, not removing the struggles, you know, like it creates anxiety. It creates people that can't do social. The only social they're doing now is likes. And it sounds like a rant, but I'm just like, you kids today.
I was at a job years ago, and this girl had an argument. She's like 18, and the cook is 60 some years old. And he said, I don't like your outfit. And she was like, well, I got 300 likes on Facebook, so they like my outfit. And he's looking at her like,
there you go.
He doesn't have social media. He's making like $20 an hour as a cook, you know, and she's getting like $7.95 an hour. Like has everything and she doesn't, but likes it's become the money, you know. And it's like you're arguing with a man who doesn't care about random people who don't know you. And I'll tell you, I had a cousin 2 years ago. He posted his haircut on Facebook. He's 20 years old. People in the comments said they didn't like the haircut, so he shaved his hair bald. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm like, these are people you'll never see. Oh, they didn't like my haircut, so I cut my hair off. I'm like, what? Are you crazy? Like, people are dictating people's lives because of social media now. And I'm like, wow, like that's crazy.
Now I would say it's just so true. It's right. Yeah, what he said, you know, like, do you want to get likes? Just do this. You get a lot of likes. It's done. I don't even have to have skills today.
I thrive on social media. My home place is Twitter. I come from Twitter, and it's my humble home place, and that's where every cancel culture trend start. You go there, you cancel. You go there, you cancel. Everybody's canceled. That's So I think social media, in a way, has become that what do you call the good old days where where people used to burn witches. Now cancel culture has become the witch burning trial, the witch trials. Now Salem witch trial 2.0 is cancel culture. So thanks to social media for that.
I love your home cooking, honey. I love New York. I just love your silent pictures. I love New York.
I love New York. You know why? Because it's open all night.
The effort to draw tourists and their vacation dollars now includes all 50 states. And that includes some that acknowledge right up front are not such an easy sell. Barry Peterson has the story.
The people of Nebraska take great pleasure in things that are a little, shall we say, unusual, unorthodox, atypical.
Selling Nebraska to tourists is about marketing odd.
Lucky for you, we invent things to do, like when we realized a livestock tank would float.
And when the campaign started 4 years ago, it came with an equally odd last line.
Nebraska. Honestly, it's not for everyone.
Irresistible to late night host Stephen Colbert.
Do you know what else has got to be a tough job? Nebraska Tourism Commissioner.
John Ricks is executive director of the actual Nebraska Tourism Commission, who helped invent the ads.
Do you think you encourage people to pay more attention because you said to some of them maybe they wouldn't care?
There were a number of perceptions out there, and they were basically flat and boring, nothing to do, flyover country, dusty plains, and then you basically tell them the real story, which is the truth that there's a lot of fun things to do here.
Adventure is out there. Come find it in the land of great faces and great places.
Touting tourism stretches from the Great Plains,
Great places, South Dakota. Start spreading the news.
to the great cities in a TV commercial war between the states.
I wanna be a part of it. New York, New York.
It's time to let yourself explore the wide open beauty of Florida.
So when Florida sells big vistas, Texas says it doesn't need wide-angle lenses because its big vistas are the real thing.
Hold on. You don't need to use camera magic to make this vacation look exciting. It actually is.
Having a good time, having a good time. Shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity.
California markets fun in the sun with Hollywood special effects, while Mississippi encourages a serious look at civil rights history.
Where we've been, what we've seen. No, we can't give up on the dream. So keep shining on.
When the pandemic hit and tourism hit just about zero, Wyoming marketed its wide open spaces as the space we all needed. And when it was over, trust Las Vegas to flip the fun switch back on big time. And travel is back to booming, says Tori Emerson Barnes from the U.S. Travel Association.
91% of American travelers have a trip planned in the next 6 months.
I'm not going to talk about Indian states, but I'm going to talk about, since I lived in the US for 12 years in 2 states, Iowa and Michigan. So I'll talk about Iowa.
Oh my God, the worst 2 states. I feel your pain.
Iowa, like if you want to have a cheese sandwich, you got corn in it. If you want a hamburger, you've got corn in it. If you want a corn dog, oh wait, there's no corn in that. But trust me, you go to Iowa, you'll find corn everywhere. And trust me, it's so untasty.
That's corny, says Cancel Cop.
I know. In fact, if you want, you can even get intimate with corn, and we can call it cornography.
My God.
But that's not an original one. That's there online. But
When you said intimate, I thought of something else. Just
Cornhub.
Cornhub.
Pornhub.
Oh, for me, it was way another level. Yeah.
I want to promote Virginia because so Virginia has got nice, beautiful places, like, romantic places, kind of. They've got beaches, they've got rivers, we got mountains and all that. So I would make an ad like this. Okay, you show mountains, and then in the mountains you show a love-making scene. All right. Then you show the beaches. You have the waves and all that. And way in the corner, you show a couple lovemaking. And you take rivers, take a close up. There's people, enjoying fun. And then the tagline would be, to attract more people, it would not be Virginia is for lovers. It would be Virginia is for lovemaking.
Oh.
And I would like to attract people. It's a really nice, yeah. So, well, you will be if you are, but once you get out of the state, you won't be a virgin after that.
The irony is that it has virgin in the name. So
exactly.
After you come there and make love, just call the state as Ia. Just Ia.
Then you lose your
Sin City, which is known as Las Vegas, that's an easy sell. We put on the switch. Come here and get dirty.
Yep.
Sonnet 18, William Shakespeare, but thy eternal summer shall not fade, because William Shakespeare has never come to Malaysia before. We have eternal summer. Come on, yeah. So, and Malaysia, if let's say you want to come to Malaysia, you get to see two things. You get to see me, you get to see the dog. And also, okay, speaking about my joke, I said Malaysia is a beautiful country. We have good food, good weather, and bad pilots.
Bad pilot.
I can't tell this joke in Malaysia. Or else I have to go and run and stay with Serene Sea in Thailand.
Perfect.
Two plane nests, right? We have two plane nests in another country. Yeah.
Malaysia
that we know
of. Yeah. Malaysia has the tallest twin towers in the world. It is the perfect destination for the suicidals. Just in case you don't die the first time, you have the second tower to try again.
I'm from Malaysia. Yeah. If you go to Malaysia a couple of years back, you will see me. Now for this one, you have to go to Thailand and see me. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we are famous for. You take me home by surprise. If you're expecting a woman and you take me home, yeah, you're gonna experience some Star Wars. That's the two lightsaber goes bing. That's what Thailand promotes, man. Lady
Real life Star Wars.
boys. Yeah, we are famous for lady boys here.
On my commercial for New York, where you want to get the viruses first, we have monkeypox first. All of the viruses stewing in our wastewaters. The what's that other one that's just got here? So get your viruses first here in New York City.
And you don't need Tinder or Bumble to meet the virus or hang out with them.
We're waiting for you. We welcome you.
Georgia. So I'll do mine as Ja Rule and then Donald Trump. Hey, what up, baby? It's Ja Rule, baby. Come to Georgia because we never close, baby. They don't care about the safety of Americans. Come to Georgia and you will see 1 million Tyler Perry movies being made. It's murder. Hi, I'm Donald Trump. Don't come to Georgia, damn it. I'm currently suing them for not voting for me. They voted for Joe Biden, damn it. The guy that goes to sleep at every damn press conference. I'm suing Georgia and I don't approve this, damn it. Don't call me Cat.
Oh, that was lovely.
That was an awesome impression.
Yeah, actually, Manny has done Black Trump impressions at various comedy shows. So
If we could just build ourselves a time machine and go back and correct all our mistakes. It's because at 17 we were so uncertain about our value that there was no way we could seduce someone we liked, and wasted what might have been some of our most promising years in loneliness and self-hatred. Stop worrying what others think. Live by our own values and be free. If only we could land our elegant time machine next to our younger selves and whisper them such advice, we'd have left home with our dignity intact. We'd have had the love we craved. We'd have spared ourselves relationship agonies. We would have called emotional intelligence psychobabble. We were wedded to our illnesses. But there is nothing at all simple about correcting mental unwellness. It can legitimately be the work of a lifetime to one day be able to feel fundamentally content with ourselves, not scared all the time, reconciled to our careers, and holding the hand of an ordinary, kind, clever person who loves us and whom we love.
It's not the exact time travel that I want to do. Go back and talk to my former self. But it would sound something like this. Listen, idiot. Don't do this stupid thing that you're going to do next week. Dummy.
when I introspect on my life or what I've done, say in my school or college days, I'm like, I just wish I could go back and talk to myself and be like, hey, it's not so bad as you think it is. There's nothing to whine about what you're whining about right now at this age, because it's going to get worse year on year. But you have
it's going to get worse. That's funny.
you
Don't
have to
worry,
hold it
it'll
in
get
together.
worse. Don't worry.
Exactly. Like, it's funny when you think about it, because when I started off in college, first year, my second year senior, he was like, enjoy your first year while you can. Second year is hard. Then when I came to second year and he was in third year, he was like, enjoy your second year, bro. Third year is hell. So I'm like, wow. it's like a progression of encouragement to me year on year. But yeah, that's basically pretty much, I would like to just go back and just tell myself, hey, don't take it so hard. Don't do this, don't do that. Especially, like, I used to hate cats as a kid. I used to hate cats a lot, and I behaved in not so good ways with them. If I could just go back to my 6-year-old self, I would love to slap him in the face and say, do not throw that stone at the kitten. Do not do that. Please.
You know, you can get canceled for that.
Ooh, or my
Something you did
6-year-old
in the
self.
past, throwing stones at cats. So, come on.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
As an animal lover,
Animal abuse.
I know. I'm like, why? What was wrong with me? Like,
I'm looking at you differently, Jesus.
I redeemed myself, hopefully, at the age of 14.
I watched Twilight Zone a lot, and they had an episode where a woman went back in time to kill the baby of baby Hitler, and the whole episode she's trying to pick away how to do it, but it's a baby, so she didn't want to stab him because she's like, oh, it's harmless, but she had to be reminded what he's going to grow up to be. So I'm not going to give the episode away, but she does try to kill herself and the baby. So you have to watch and see it. And then there was an episode where this guy, he was rich in the future. He wanted to go back in time to make money all over again. He liked the process of making money. But of course, in those episodes, there's a twist. He invested in a company that didn't exist yet. So he basically, he didn't get rich. So he played himself because the guy was like, well, you made the deal. He was like, yeah, but he was like, the company doesn't exist yet. It's not, that won't be for like another 20, 30 years. So he was trying to invest like that same year into that company. And they were looking at him like, so some things you can't change. What I learned from them episodes is that everything happens for an absolute reason, so we all think that we want to go back and change some things, but then you wouldn't meet the people you met. You wouldn't go through certain hardships that made you who you are now. So Everything happens for a reason.
Manny, why is your word as powerful you are? A Jedi you will be.
You gotta do some skits on that.
Like you can do Yoda versus Black Trump.
Go for it. Go for it.
I'm tired of all these damn Star Wars movies, damn it. They need to be canceled.
To cancel? Stay in the present, my friend. Stay in the present. All his life as he looked away to the future, to the horizon. Never your mind and where you are. What you're doing.
I like the way you think. You need to help me run for president in 2024. Let's get rid of Joe Biden. What do you think about Joe Biden?
Attachment leads to jealousy. Mourn them do not, miss them do not. Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose.
That's great advice. You know, my wife Melania tells me that all the time. You know, except she won't have sex with me or hold my hand. What do you say about that?
Premonition. Premonition. Someone you miss. Again, temptation leads to suffering. Train yourself to let go. Be careful when you're sensing the future. You join the dark side, you will.
This is great. I hope they don't take my part out of the movie like they did in Home Alone 2.
Home Alone? I'm always alone in Planet Tatooine.
I love Star Wars movies as a kid, and so does my son Baron. He loves it. Oh my God, this is great.
Loving me? Oh, that will be good. This is powerful Jedi he will be.
All right, we'll wait for the sequel. I'm going to stop there. This Trump impression it makes me like him. He's too nice.
Yeah.
He likes his son. He likes he wants to hold Melania's hand. This is a nice Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens at shows. I give out scratch offs and $5 bills, and the audience is confused because they're like, we're supposed to not like him, but you making him cool.
Vote for this Trump. Vote for this Trump.
Yeah, I would vote for you, not the real Trump. I think the goal for mankind is to procreate. So I would like to go to the future to make some babies in the future. So Cruz is here and Cruz is in the future. Boom.
All I'll say, Henry, is you and Sheldon Cooper will never be roommates if you have that thought. Because procreation is you'll be like,
off his book.
Procreation? What is wrong with you?
Coitus.
Coitus.
Coitus. Oh, it's so funny, man.
Henry Coitus Cruz.
That makes him sound Greek.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to travel to the future than to the past. Right now, we are traveling to the future.
Yes, I'm doing it right now.
There's a concept called time dilation. So if you move at super hyper speed, then you move into the future. You don't go to the past, but you move into the future. So one day for you will be 100 years for Earth. That's how you'd be going. That's how fast you'd be going.
Here's the issue. If you want to go into the future, how many years do you want to go into the future? Because life is unpredictable, right? If you go in the future like 5 years and you see your girlfriend with someone else, you might be thinking, what the hell happened to me?
Oh, fuck.
There is a caveat over there. Don't be too ambitious of going into the future. Okay, just go like 2 days in the future and find out if things are okay.
I would want to
do a test run.
Aberdeen. I would want to watch. It's like, oh, my girlfriend's with somebody else.
Especially when you catch him, your girlfriend having with someone else and talking about bad about you, like he doesn't last long on bed. You don't want to find that out, man.
If there has to be time travel, it should be such that we have the option of like going back, going
And
forward,
forth.
kind of like in the Flash, the
Yep.
CW series.
Yeah.
The Flash's kids can just visit him in 2022 and be like, okay, we're done with our day trip back to
Yeah.
2049 with nothing affected.
Yeah.
Let's say you did time travel into the future and you saw your own grave, like you saw your grave and you inquire, you get to know the cause of your death, and now you get back to the past. Now, what do you do? Like, do you want to? Would you try to avoid that scenario,
Good question.
or would it just happen like normally? Let's say they say you die by drunken driving. So would that mean that you would prevent all the steps from getting drunk, which then you'll be missing out on a lot of things, and you can't predict when you're going to take the bottle of wine again and when you're going to drive again. So it is unpredictable. Even though you watch the future, what happens in the past? Can you change that?
There's something about I guess the rules of time according to Star Trek is that sometimes it'll happen in a different order. Like you said, wine, instead of wine, it'll be beer. Oh, I shouldn't have the wine. Then it's just because the universe wants it to happen, because the universe doesn't like cancel cop.
I'm the antichrist. I'm the anti-universe.
My past self was so confused about me, like, hey, you know what, Serene? You became a cabin crew. You traveled the whole world. Okay, that's good. Because I grew up from the orphanage home. So if I go back, I'm going back to my orphanage cell. Like I tell him, you traveled the whole world. You became a cabin crew. Whoa, that's impossible. Like in orphanage home, everything is about poverty and all stuff. It's for me to travel the world is such a big dream. And then you became a comedian. Whoa, that's good as well. Like you became a woman. Oh fuck. That's how fucked up I became.
As my therapist would say, don't bury the lead. You became a woman, you should start with that.
For me, if I get to travel back in the past, I would have been much more bolder in standing up for myself. Because I recall that as a kid and all, I'm very passive to everybody in life. That means my mom, my teachers, my classmates, and then people would think that I'm like a doormat and all. But the thing is, if I transport today's self back there, everyone will see this. Yeah, and it'll be so cool. I was like, everyone will be like, yeah.
Snag this book from Sahrud, that idiot. But he writes some things from time to time, some poems type of things. This was something when he wrote when he was like really, really troubled. When he really wanted to, go back into the past and change things. But then he realized something, and here's what he wrote. He said, may your heart be broken. May your heart remain breakable, but never by the same hand twice.
Yes.
And say it even louder. Without your past, you could never have arrived so wondrously and brutally by design or some violent, exquisite happenstance here at this point.
Wow.
That's what he wrote.
Well, you can avoid the breaking of the heart second time with the same hand by going back to the same hand. So why would you go back to that same person to get spanked twice?
Love is love.
Oh yeah.
That was deep cancel cop. And please tell your idiot friend Sarud thank you on our behalf.
It's funny. I had a conversation with my dad, and my dad, I'm the only child. My dad had 6 kids by 6 different women. And he was like, I love you, but if I had to do it all over, you wouldn't be here. So it made me think about, we're talking about going back in the past. A lot of us wouldn't be here because our parents would probably be like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna wear a condom, or you know what? I'm gonna just jack off in this sock. So a lot of us wouldn't be here at all.
Yeah.
And it makes you think about, as far as the future, I don't think any of us would actually know what's going to happen to us in the future, because that can be depressing, the outcome. So what I think about sometimes is that we only live one time. So it's like, damn, we need to accomplish as much as we can while we're here, because one day we're all not going to be here. And whether we believe in heaven or hell, is like, that's scary to think of. You're not going to be here one day. Like, we don't know what we're going to be doing. You won't be going to work. And I'm like, damn. So every day you get up, we need to be trying to do something. So I don't really worry about the future as much, because I think about today, accomplishing something today.
Stay in the present.
Yeah.
Nice sunny outside.
Perfect example of power of now.
I think the video was about regrets. Do you want to go back in time and talk to your younger self? If I had learned, I recently learned about emotional intelligence. Not that I was a big dick when I was younger, but a pretty sizable dick. I was not nice to people when I was younger. Now I'm very kind. So if I had that kindness a little bit younger, if I can learn a few lessons, so that's adjustments that I would make. Or just if I had regrets, it's like, should I have been mean to that person? Should I have been so mean? Should I have been so evil? It goes on. The list goes on. It's just
Henry, now you say you're kind and you're giving, you're humble. So you're saying that you're no dick. You're not a dick anymore. You're not a dick anymore.
I have no dick. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's something Serene wants. That's something Serene wants.
It fell off.
You have something Serene wants.
I am donating my dick. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Thank you, Papa Henry.
Yeah, of course.
I would like to educate my dad to just jerk it off when he was trying to get my older brother and my younger brother in. So I would have been the only child. Trust me.
Gets a cop.
Being a middle child was, I tell you, it was not the most happiest thing in life.
Your cancer for time traveling murder, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Murder. It's murder. But is it murder if you can't prove it? Is it murder if you can't prove it? Like if he's not born, is it really murder?
Yeah, I commit accidental murder every day.
Oh, a few billion lives, man.
If you tried to prevent some one grave thing, there would have been something else that would have come up. Like for example, my theory is always that life goes on. So what if you would have killed Hitler, right? What if somebody else would have become in his place, right? I mean, you cannot stop history to happen. Maybe Hitler was killed and somebody was ready to take his position, like, second in command. He would have become something like him. So
there would have been another Hitler named Bob.